The following podcast may contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. This shit's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Four Guys in a Movie podcast. My name is Rob, and this is a movie where four friends get together and talk about movies and see how they hold up. My friends are with me today. Say hello.
My name is Brian.
Will.
And I'm Joe.
My name is Earl.
I'm not going to say hello because you told me to. Although I guess I just said it because I'm saying that I'm not going to say it. But whatever.
You do you, Brian, I guess. So, Gremlins 2, the new biatch.
Yeah.
Let's
Did we watch the same movie? Because you guys look like you've been through an ordeal.
The Ringer.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Okay.
I guess we'll find out. So the movie is Gremlins 2 from the great year 1990.
I was born.
Oh my God.
You piece of shit.
Oh,
Every time.
fuck.
God, like his pubes haven't even grown in yet. Ugh. All right. Well, I'm full of margarita. Let's do this.
He is. I seen it.
Yeah, he's seen it. So this movie came out in 1990.
Yep.
What else can you tell us about this movie? Whoever decided to take notes this week.
It was directed by Joe Dante, who gave us movies like The Burbs. And
Oh, really?
like Inner Space.
Oh.
And like,
Didn't you do the first one too?
yeah, and Small Soldiers.
That was. Yeah.
You can't handle the rodeo burger.
Yeah. That's on my list right now. but yeah. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right.
Do we have any financials on this movie?
Well, I mean, do you want to guess how much it cost to make?
A good amount.
I'm going to say 60 million.
I'm going to say 20 million.
40. We'll go in the middle.
Joe wins $50 million.
50?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to guess how much it made? I only have U.S. numbers. So
I'm going to say 80.
45. I don't think it did well.
15.
$15 million.
if we're doing prices right, Will wins. It was $41 million.
Ah.
It didn't do well. You were correct, Joe, but
Wow.
a little bit over. Yeah, that's U.S. I saw it made like $10 million overseas somewhere else, and
Right.
like whatever. But like, yeah.
You made $10 million overseas?
So like some other country would maybe China made $10 million, and then it like broke down by country. But I was just doing the math for that.
Rwanda brought in a whopping $10,000. So that is a brief history of this movie. Let's talk about our personal history. Brian?
I saw this movie, I think in the theaters. I think my sister brought me.
Same person that brought you to Willow, or different?
I think so. I'm trying to think if she was on a date or not. No, she would have been in college at that point. So yeah, I think she just brought me. I think we just went to see it.
Good, because who's going on a date to Gremlins 2?
So my siblings are all like way older than me. So when I was, 8, they were all in college or out of college already and stuff like that. So it was, I remember when my sister was in high school, she'd go on dates and I'd go with her.
Nice.
Cause that'd be like her buffer. It was
You
weird.
sit in between.
Did they make you sit in the middle?
Like, kind of. And like, it's funny because like, as an adult now, I'm like, damn, I feel sorry for those guys.
Brian after she'd make Brian sit in the dude's lap.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
no.
I felt sorry for those guys that she brought me on dates with. I was like, oh, my God.
The code word is, I want a cold soda.
But yeah. Well, how about you?
I had seen bits and pieces of this movie throughout the years. Like, I think Comedy Central had it on there a lot, and some other TV channels. And I think today's the first day that I've seen the whole thing through in one sitting. So it was an experience for sure.
How about you, Joe?
I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid. For some reason, this movie was always on, and Gremlins 1 was never on. So I saw this first, and I knew there was a Gremlins 1, but this was my only exposure to the franchise for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like my experience is the same as Joe, actually. Like, I don't remember seeing Gremlins before I saw Gremlins 2, and I remember seeing this a lot. I don't recall seeing it in theaters, but I recall seeing it like a lot. So besides the aforementioned in our Gremlins episode, which if you want to hear that, you should check out our episode at 4ampodcast.podbean.com. The whole soundtrack situation. This is I remember this movie like a lot.
Mhm.
Like, I will note that this one's rated PG-13, and that's partly because Gremlins, the first one, was rated PG, and after Gremlins, they were like, we should probably separate some of this stuff out by age a little bit better.
It was like
This
the
is-
other side of
This
the
is wrong
PG line.
somehow.
Yeah. So that's when PG-13 came out after that Gremlins movie. So now this one is PG-13.
So
Who's in this movie?
who is in this movie? Joe?
Let me consult
Your
my
files.
files.
You're fired.
Mhm. That's fine. I'll go home.
Oh,
All right.
you're not going home. You're just fired.
You've tried that already. All right. So we got Zach Galligan is playing Billy Peltzer, Phoebe Cates as Kate Berenger, John Glover as Daniel Clamp, Robert Prosky as Grandpa Fred, and Robert Picardo as Forrester. We had a special appearance from Christopher Lee as Dr. Catheter. And Dick Miller as Murray Futterman. He's important too.
Who is... Wait,
Who's who?
what was the Fardo?
Forrester,
Forrester?
Is he like the little
Robert
number
Picardo.
two?
Picardo?
who I just realized was the hologram in
Oh, okay. That's...
Yeah,
okay.
Voyager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
what, so he walks on screen, that's Doctor.
Yeah.
Did they hire him just because his last name was Picardo, you think?
I don't know why they hired him.
For
I don't
Star
know.
Trek, you're
I mean, on
saying?
Star Trek, yeah.
Picardo.
They were like,
Probably not.
no,
But
you don't
can
think so?
that if you want
I
to.
wouldn't be surprised with this movie.
No, not this movie. I'm talking about Star Trek.
Oh,
Because he was on... It was on Voyager?
Yeah.
maybe.
So, like, this guy's last name is Picardo. We have to hire him. Otherwise, I think it's like a hate crime or something.
Okay.
I think that's Reach right there. But, you know,
You
I
know,
like what you tried to do there. You know,
I don't
you
like
went for
that
it.
you guys want to stomp on my dreams all the time.
You went for it, but
let me
I don't like that your dreams are so stupid.
I didn't take any notes, so I'm trying to procrastinate before I have to talk about the
Who
movie.
takes notes?
Because I don't remember
I did.
anything that happened.
So much shit has happened in this movie. I took like 5 pages of notes,
It is all ridiculous. Spoilers. It's
Yeah.
all ridiculous.
and it happens rapid fire.
I mean, legitimately, there's like 10, 15 minutes where no words are spoken. Just like ridiculous shit.
Shit's just happening.
Just happening.
it's like they just had all these ideas and threw them up on the dartboard, and it's like, all right, let's have a fucking Phantom of the Opera.
You guys should tweet us. You guys should tweet us at 4am podcast, hashtag Gremlins, and get a chance to maybe win Joe's notebook.
I just started a new one. My old one is full.
Perfect.
You get the old one framed.
Yeah,
He'll sign it.
I'll sign it.
No, he won't.
He will. He'll sign it.
It has such wonderful things in it as my chart comparing 1986 Transformers to 2007 Transformers.
That's
great.
where Tony cried.
Yeah,
Because both movies are terrible.
yeah.
All right. Anyway, so what actually happened in this movie? Let's just
So
jump
the
right
weirdest
on.
part about this movie is how it fucking opens.
Dude,
Like it's so
Let's
out
be
of
careful
fucking
with
place.
weirdest part, but it's weird.
It's out of fucking place. And like,
Yeah,
So as Warner Brothers had something to do with this movie,
yeah, everything to do with this movie.
like, and so they felt the need to open with the Looney Tunes opening.
yeah.
Like,
Just cause.
legit, back in the day, if you went into Warner Brothers store, which used to be a thing, probably before you were born, Will, but they used to be Warner Brothers stores.
they had cool shit in them.
They did. I bought a Batman ring there once, and actually maybe a Green Lantern ring they used to sell.
Okay.
It was like a signet ring, so I could punch people and leave the bat symbol in their faces. It was great.
Said Unity backwards in his forehead for like a week.
My forehead is bumping.
But
Now
no,
that you
it,
mention it, I think I'm bleeding from the chest.
so it was basically Warner Brothers' version of the Disney store. So it would have like little dioramas around the perimeter of the store, and one of those dioramas would always be Gremlins, like messing with movie props and things like that. So Warner Brothers was all in on Gremlins. So this movie just starts out with a freaking Bugs Bunny cartoon, just straight up.
And not even like the one where it's Bugs Bunny versus the
The
Gremlins.
Gremlin, right?
Yeah.
It's just Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck
Yeah.
just bitching at each other like an old married couple.
I mean, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's their thing.
yeah. You know, they argued, but the sex was great.
I'm not going to explore that topic any further. Yeah, and it just cuts from a cartoon that you're never really going to see again till, I guess, the very end credits.
Yeah, it's just the two
Yeah,
Bugs
just
Bunny and
random.
Daffy Duck bickering at each
Yeah,
other for
and-
2 solid minutes, and then Gremlins 2 logo
Yeah.
open on New York City.
Go to Chinatown. See Mr. Wing's shop. And Daniel Clamp sends his number one goon, Mr. Forrester, over there with a TV to make an offer to Mr. Wing to buy his shop. It's how most, like, late 80s, early 90s films are always about, like, the guy just wants to buy their store and they never want to sell.
Yeah.
Or their land or something.
We're going to buy your ski resort.
Yeah.
I mean, like, fast forward to today, it's like they were right to not want to sell the shit.
There's a Starbucks there.
Yeah. So,
But did anyone think this was badass at all? Because like, if some guy walked into your establishment with their own TV,
yeah.
with a VHS player.
Now, you got to understand, in 1991, that was
was a big-
badass.
Yeah, I'm going to say,
Alright,
like,
alright.
yeah, in 1991 it'd be badass.
Yeah,
If they did
yeah.
it now, I'd be like,
We all
Are
have
you-
TVs on our phones.
yeah, I'd be like,
Be like, don't leave that here.
do you need money for food? Are you okay?
Like, you pre-recorded a video for me? You could just fucking call me.
Yeah.
We could have Skyped.
Like, what the fuck?
You could actually be talking to me right now. But it was impressive for 91. And then this Forrester guy
Well,
just casually... What's that?
But it wasn't, because in the building, they have video phones.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they just call this dude?
Did you see how well that video phone worked?
Yes.
True.
That is, yeah, you're
And also,
fair.
I mean, it was bigger than the damn TV on the cart.
That's fair too.
And they would have had to run a line all the way from the Clamp Center to here.
Well, would they though? Because this TV was running on nothing, as far
That's
as I
fair.
could tell.
Yeah.
Battery powered.
Oh, it was possessed.
Wait
No,
for
well,
it.
those electric rats. It was running on an electric rat.
There you go.
All right.
Maybe.
So, see, they should have offered Mr. Wing that. He would have, probably considered their offer then.
Yeah. So if you want to buy any of my property, show up at my home with a 24-inch tube television and a VCR hooked up to nothing.
So yeah, basically, Mr. Wing just basically says no, but he says a quote about like mastering yourself or something like that. And yeah, Forrester's just casually tossing about the racism. He's like, "Is that Confucius or Bruce Lee? Because that's all I can understand your culture through."
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And you see there is a cage with Gizmo in it. Well, at this point, you just hear him, but you hear the signature song.
Yeah.
And he grabs the remote for the TV and immediately goes to Rambo 3. Not my first choice.
I mean, but that's what had just come out.
Yeah.
Wait, was that Rambo 3?
That was
Yeah,
Wait,
when he's in Afghanistan.
to survive
Didn't we-
war. You have to become war.
Didn't we did
We did
Rambo
that.
3? That
Yeah.
was an episode. I don't rember that line in it.
I don't remember much about Rambo 3.
I mean, that
other
is
than
also
burning
fair.
a tunnel through himself.
Yeah.
And sand pants for riding around.
Sans Pants fighting Comrade Big Bear Chunkwurst.
Yeah. And playing chicken with a helicopter.
Climaxing in the middle of their fight.
Okay, so anyway, so here's their plan. Like Forrester walks out, and his lackey is like, "Oh man, I thought that was a good offer." And he's like, "Don't worry, that guy's old. We'll just wait for him to die." And 6 weeks later, he's dead, and that's it. It's like plan worked.
And like the news is there being like, hey, this old store owner died. Like, which, never happens. And
Yeah.
the clamp guy's going to move in.
Micah shows up. He's like, "I told you, Black Lung, I'm gonna take your shop."
No one went through any of his stuff.
No, they just
No,
left
They
the
just
whole
left
shop
the whole
there.
shop. Fucking bulldozed that whole thing. Not even a liquidator.
Like, dude didn't even like I understand he's like an old dude, he's set in his ways or whatever, but you don't leave that Mogwai to anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and if I bought the building, I would at least try to contract a liquidator to go through and get me some money for that
Right.
stuff in there. for something. But they're like, no, fuck it, just knock it all down. It's old.
Like, what I don't get, because this would have made this, the scene coming up made more sense if the guy put in his will, like, Gizmo goes to Billy.
That would have made way more sense.
Because now I think he's ready.
Yeah.
He's ready for responsibility, whatever. And then Billy gets Gizmo. But no, instead,
My death means he's ready.
they tear down this fucking building and Gizmo gets out.
And he runs for it. In like, I mean,
And the weird,
that run animation.
weird.
though.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Is that like stop motion put on?
he had like,
real,
I believe it's a finger puppet
yeah.
it's
think
like
so.
it's
in
like
front of a green screen.
early video game animation where the guy's legs will be going a million miles an hour and he's going nowhere.
Yeah, that was
It
great.
looks like Sonic the Hedgehog when he's skidding on ice or something.
Yeah,
And I said, watch it. I'm like, I feel so dumb. I was so dumb as a kid because this looked like way more real to me when I was younger.
yeah.
And I felt so dumb right now. How fool I was. That is shit.
Well, I was having a discussion with one of my team members the other day about how I guess they're thinking about doing a new Gremlins movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I hope they do all practical effects still. And he was like, well, they could use CGI to jazz up some of them. And seeing this, I'm like, yeah, we could jazz up the puppets a little bit. Like, I love the puppets, but watching this walk, you're like, oh, that is not good.
Oh, man.
That it's not in the uncanny valley.
Yeah. So then he gets all of like 20 feet before he just gets captured by one of Mr. Clamp's scientists. So it's like, why didn't he just go to the building anyway? Like, what was the point of this?
Yeah.
Pointless.
Yeah, why'd they just have one of the scientists come in and take him? You wouldn't have got that embarrassing run down the street little scene there. Also, he's just straight up out during the day.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yep.
The rules just are. They are.
The movie itself does not respect the rules.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The
I don't think
rules
they
are like-
expect us to either.
Movie itself doesn't respect itself.
Yes, that's correct. It does not expect us to either.
this movie uses instant grits.
Well said. All right, so yeah, now we cut to Billy Forrester and Kate, and they're going to their job. They both work at the new Clamp Center, and they walk in and
Clamp Tower.
Tower, yeah, and fucking like the popular New York stereotype, like a guy just shoves them out of the way to run through the
What
automatic
the
door,
hell was that?
like
That
an
dude
asshole.
legit pushes Phoebe Cates out of the way, like
Yeah,
body checks her.
like just totally writes her off. Like I don't got time for you in my way.
Dude, did you not see Fast Times?
And so, why you would need an automatic rotating door,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you're an asshole.
Because you're an asshole. So it just launches this man, spins him around a bunch of times, and launches him into some other woman on the other side of the door. And I mean, I guess that's supposed to be funny. That lady takes a pretty sweet pratfall, and she's really good at throwing piles of papers in the air.
Here's the thing. It's what this movie is PG-13.
Yeah.
I don't understand that because this movie is aimed squarely at 6-year-olds, but at the same time, not, which is really confusing.
This movie is aimed at everything.
And nothing at
And
the
nothing.
same time.
Yeah. It didn't hit anything.
The humor is aimed at 6-year-olds. The insane amount of gore, but not real gore, like
But
cartoon.
then
But
there's
then all
weird
these old-
sexual stuff,
Yeah,
like
and these
the,
old school movie references left and right.
like the redhead, putting her foot
Right
all
in
up
that
in
dude's
his
junk.
crotch,
Yeah,
and
right.
female gremlin raping that guy.
That's the best part, though.
Yeah. All right. So
I pay lots of money to get raped by a female gremlin.
Okay, moving on.
Kate, she's a tour guide, and Billy's an architect. And he goes to his office, and he's doing a sketch of the new Clamp Chinatown thing that he wants to do. And his boss is just like, yeah, draw some plants in there, and do these other modifications to the drawing. And then her boss, Mr. Forrester, comes in, and he's just like, you're not allowed to have potted plants or pictures of your hometown up. You could only have our approved abstract art. And he throws his plant straight up in the garbage.
What even is that?
I don't know. This movie's trying to make a statement against corporate culture.
Yeah, but
it's not like there's a million legit things to complain about.
But
with
at the
corporate
same
culture.
time,
Like,
the Warner Brothers logo is on every other item in the movie.
all right, so this guy, he's got quite a camera system. And he notices one of his employees taking a unauthorized smoke break and fires him right over the intercom.
Yeah, was that somebody famous, by the way?
It looked kind of like, didn't it look like the guy from The Burbs? Like the
old guy.
The old guy,
I think
yeah.
it was. I think
Wasn't
it
that
was.
Roddy McDowell? I thought it was Roddy McDowell.
I don't know. You don't really get a good view of him.
Yeah, it's only through the security cam.
Yeah, and then you meet another unnecessary character. We see Grandpa Fred is dressed as Count Dracula, and he's talking about scary movies. And he is checked out of his job, like both Rob and Brian are with this podcast right now.
No, I'm looking at
Fuck this movie.
Yeah.
oh, it is the guy from the Burbs. It was Henry Gibson.
Mm-hmm. All right, so basically, like,
He was in Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Grandpa Fred wants to be, a more serious on-air personality, but he's stuck pretending to be Dracula, talking about shitty monster movies.
Which, like, how does that crossover happen?
I don't know.
Was like, I just want to be on TV, and then he just took that job.
Yeah,
Like,
he took whatever job he could.
yeah.
And he became a
Imagine he was like
grandpire.
a Mr. Rogers character
All right.
and just like
Rob,
slowly turned into Dracula.
have you seen that octopus movie that he was watching?
No, I have not seen that movie. I have seen The Beast from 10,000 Fathoms, which is the movie that they're showing later in the film. I've not seen the octopus movie.
Yeah, I don't know what it was called, but I want to call it Mantipus.
That's
Wow.
I wouldn't Google that, but
No, don't Google that.
at
Don't
the same
hashtag
time, if anybody,
It's called The Attack of the Octopus People.
oh,
Uh,
I'm gonna watch that later.
In fact, sorry, Octoman, 1971,
mm,
and it was a Rick Baker costume. The first costume.
Oh,
first
okay,
Rick Baker costume.
Yeah.
that makes sense because Rick Baker
Throwback.
did all the special effects for the
Yeah.
Gremlins.
All right.
All right.
So then we just go to other random place. There's just a random genetic research lab
Octoman, 1971.
going on, the Splice of Life Clinic.
Which, like, so this clinic, I kind of get what's in there, but I would have rather, thinking about this movie, the first Gremlins, or rather Billy's dad had been
Yeah.
in this, because this whole thing was weird adventures or
Right.
whatever. Even that conference he went to, remember the conference from Gremlin? Had a teleporter and all kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it was that kind of scene, but like with bioengineer stuff,
Mhm.
let his dad be in there. Like, they get more time from the first movie to make shit make more sense for this movie.
They don't got time for shit to make sense.
I guess.
Nor do they care to attempt it.
They're like, check it out. We got Christopher Lee. He's Dr. Catheter.
What a
Yeah,
waste
like-
of Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
I mean,
Christopher Lee's done some
here's
pretty,
the thing, though. Yeah, like
some pretty bad shit.
Yeah.
if you look at Christopher Lee's filmography,
He played
Yeah.
Dracula quite a few times.
he did play Dracula quite a few times. He played
Oh,
Doctor
Frankenstein.
whatever.
Yeah. He played the werewolf hunter in She Bitch 2. Your sister's a werewolf.
Nice.
Note, he actually apologized to Joe Dante for being in that movie.
For being in what movie?
And it's like the Howling 2.
Oh, The Howling 2,
The
that's
Howling
it.
2. Because
Yeah.
Joe Dante, he did the Howling, the first one.
Yeah.
He actually apologized for him when he came on set. Like, I'm sorry, I was in that sequel to your movie. Because it was
Wow.
awful.
Now, was Christopher Lee in the Pod People at some point?
I don't know.
But he's going to reference it.
Yeah, because he
He's
comes in with a
carrying a
big.
giant pod.
Yeah, I didn't know if like he was in that, and I just missed that because
Possible.
I should know that information.
You should.
You watch all that shit.
I do watch all that shit.
So, yeah, so he comes in, like, his assistant is, like, signing for a package or whatever, and she sneezes in a tissue. He just takes it. He's like, he needs
needs
his
the flu.
diseases. Yeah. He needs malaria. And he's like, but they sent him rabies. He's like, I already have rabies. I
Yeah.
think that's supposed to be funny.
I mean,
Um,
you would think that's supposed to be, but
So then, yeah, he sees his two identical twin scientists that are working on cloning, and they show him Gizmo. Gizmo likes to rock out, or what passes as rocking out in 1991.
Some more cool, like, stop motion rocking out.
Yeah, yeah. We get that walk animation again. And
What hell of a scuttle attempt to try to get away.
Doing some air guitar.
Yeah. It's like, too bad he's got to like take 20 steps to move a foot. Christopher Lee puts the brakes on that real fast. And Christopher Lee is like any standard like evil scientist from the from this time period. He's like, immediately vivisect it. We have to.
Yeah.
Cut it open. Never mind studying its behavior or anything.
I mean, if I saw that walk cycle a couple of times, I'd be the same situation. I'd be like, yeah, let's just cut it open.
All right, so Billy's talking to Kate on their office phone with a video monitor.
Those words.
No, the thing's also like the size of a tube TV. And then like he hears the delivery man humming Gizmo's trademark song. What's that?
He's whistling his theme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, all right, well, I got to go break Gizmo out of a genetics lab. Let's just go do that.
Which I'm confused why they don't use this opportunity to just start the chaos already.
Mm-hmm.
You would think, like...
That's the perfect place to start.
They spill water on him.
It is funny how long this movie takes to get to the chaos.
Yeah.
Considering it's not a very long movie. All right, so at this point, we have to look at important things like this laboratory has made a serum that makes rats discharge electricity.
Yeah.
It can power light bulbs, but now you can't touch them.
Right.
Why is that a thing that...
That's something his dad would make.
I guess.
And why is this lab here?
I don't know.
Why is this even a thing? Just to give the Gremlins weird powers
Billy
later.
basically just walks in here and takes Gizmo.
He really does. So here's something that, like, caught me. So Gizmo's wearing a black armband.
Yep.
For the death of Mr. Wing. And Billy's just like, oh, you're wearing this armband. Is that for that old man? Like, so you, in the course of Gremlins 1, you went through this insane life-changing event. This dude came, took your pet away, and was like, you're not ready for this. You're telling me that Billy at this point had no correspondence with Mr. Wing, totally forgot his name, and no contact?
Maybe he was just like, fuck Mr. Wing. He's the old man. That's it.
I
I'm not
guess.
going to call him by his name.
He took my
He took
Mogwai
my-
away.
Mogwai, yeah.
Please don't take my Mogwai
KKK
away.
took my Mogwai away. But for real though,
I don't know.
that seems ridiculous. Like he couldn't remember the dude's name. The old man. Fine.
Yeah. I do like, though, he just takes him to the men's room. I like the pointless announcer in the men's room. He's like, welcome to the men's room.
Start pissing.
You didn't wash your hands, partner.
Take your dick out.
Hey, yeah, he just talks to Gizmo for a bit there. He's like, I gotta go shove you in one of my cabinets. Don't move. And then Mr. Clamp's like, I'm just gonna show up to this office now.
He slams his hand in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. Gizmo's like, fuck you, man.
Well, that's when not when, but like you see a little earlier, but they make his hand blow up like a weird balloon kind of, and you're like, oh, this could be more craziness is gonna happen.
I will say, though, Gizmo is pretty damn cute.
Oh, absolutely.
Whenever
Super-
he's in
super
a
cute.
box type thing and it's clearly a man's hand for the lower half of him, he's adorable.
Yeah, they definitely made him more
Cutesy.
cute than the first Gremlins, where he's just like this. Yeah.
Little creature.
His
Yeah.
face is conveying emotion very well.
Mm-hmm.
So Clamp's like, he sees Billy's drawing and he's like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. Get these trees out of here that Marla told him to draw in there. So Marla's like, Billy, you're amazing. We gotta fuck. Go to dinner. And she's just like, she sees him as success and therefore it's gonna, lead to her success. So immediately she's like, I gotta get the monopoly on Billy.
Yeah. I need him inside of me, obviously.
So Billy tells
Cigarettes
Kate,
in this hole, Billy in the other one.
gotta tell
Gizmo on the other
And
to
vice
go get
versa.
Gizmo. And they just go to dinner. So Kate's on her way to get Gizmo when shit already goes wrong. Gizmo's like, I can't stay in the cabinet because I'm an asshole. Gonna use this paperclip rope that I made to get down. And here's where we meet Joe the repairman.
Freaking Gomez Adams.
Mm-hmm. Just mumbling to himself entirely.
Note, Gizmo sees him and says Gomez.
Does he?
Oh,
Yeah, he says Gomez.
I did not catch that.
Yeah.
All right. That's annoying, actually.
He does it twice.
Yeah.
Because he says the actor's name for Mr. Wang, whatever. He says the actor's name instead of, in the shop. It's like something Lee, whatever. He says that.
Really?
It's just in his mumbling. He mumbles a lot. They all mumble a lot.
Howie Mandel, you piece of shit. You bald bitch.
So, fucking Gizmo. Like,
Yep.
there's only so much shit you can perpetrate before you can claim that it was an accident that Gremlins.
What do you mean, his
crashed
complete
this tower.
standing still while water's falling
like a
everywhere?
fucking deer in headlights while this guy is shooting water around. I mean, he finally decides to take cover in the worst spot possible. And meanwhile, fucking Joe over here is just launching water all over this office. And he sprays water all over Billy's drawing. It washes all over Gizmo. And Joe's just like, fuck it. Oh, I'm just going to give up.
Mm-hmm.
And, Gizmo gets wet and just launches a bunch of little fur balls all over the place, like a mortar.
Get wet, have babies.
I know peanut butter bars were part of the equation today.
You should have
You
asked
should-
about
I
diabetes.
Look into Beatus.
Are there any more?
I don't know.
Maybe. Reach your
I
hand
hope
down
so.
there.
This is the first one I've had.
Sorry, the podcast is temporarily suspended while I hunt down peanut butter bars.
But again, like this time they give them all personalities. Because in the first Gremlins, only Stripe had personality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, the other four like pretty much die immediately in the kitchen, and then Stripe, he jumps in the pool to
Yeah.
repopulate.
And the funny thing is, I listened to our Gremlins episode fairly recently. And in that episode, we're actually defending these Gremlins for just kind of blindly following Mohawk or whatever, Stripe, whatever his name is in this.
He was the leader.
Yeah, but no, they're assholes from the start. Like, Mohawk doesn't force them to do anything. They
they're
immediately
all just,
pounce on Gizmo.
Yeah, immediately they all turn to him. And
They're just complete jerks.
Oh,
Like
and
we
this one,
remembered
yeah.
it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And
This one, they immediately start like waterboarding Gizmo.
Yeah, this one, they basically just pound their fists together like, oh, we're gonna get this motherfucker. They even say Gizmo. Like, why are
Like-
these ones so much smarter in this? Like,
Because it's the new batch. I don't
maybe
know.
that's it.
And they're even like little assholes as their Mogwai version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's fucking throw him in a hatch, like in the air vents. And then they just go off and start wreaking havoc. Like one of them is straight up crazy and just starts like painting all over everything.
He's supposed to be like Daffy Duck.
Yeah. And there's one that's like kind of stupid and another one that just perpetually has like resting bitch face. And
Yeah.
the joke is the stupid one is always hurting the other one, but like that never goes anywhere.
He's like stupid on a almost offensive level.
I think it said in the notes it was supposed to be like Lenny from Mice and Men and his brother.
That's a stretch.
Yeah,
So really offensive then.
yeah.
And then you have their leader, Mohawk, who is just freaking mean. All right, so they just shove
Frank
him in an
Welker.
air vent. Yeah, and then they go off to go wreak havoc. I do like as Kate is getting into the elevator to go up, there's an announcement over the intercom. I was like, would the owner of the car license plate, blah, 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 remove your car from the lot. It is old and dirty. So she comes, basically just picks up the crazy one, thinks it's Gizmo. Because I don't remember in the first one if she actually really ever got much of a look at Gizmo, but I would think.
No,
you'd
I mean,
be
there's a
able to
lot
tell.
of running from the other
That
Gremlins.
is
Yeah.
true. Because at first I was like, how does she not know who Gizmo is? But you're right. Maybe she didn't see him a lot.
So she takes him home.
And he's looking at her from the grate like, don't even know who I am.
This bitch don't even know me. Damn.
At least, because the other ones are black and white or gray and
Right.
white. At least this one has the right coloration.
Close enough to it. Yeah.
All right. So, meanwhile, we see Billy's date with Marla here at the Canadian restaurant.
That was a joke, you know.
So, I mean, it's very similar to like Le Cellier in Epcot Center, where it's like this Canadian themed restaurant, but at the same time, it's completely different because it's really hokey, fake Canadian.
Serve you a chocolate mousse.
Their dessert is actually a chocolate mousse. It, however, does not look anything like that. It's just like a plate of chocolate mousse.
All right, so Marla's just coming on strong here. She just shoves her foot right in Billy's crotch.
Yeah, she's trying to like jerk him off chimp style.
Billy's like, "Oh, gotta go."
There's more monkey pussy for me.
But she gives him a kiss on the cheek, so he's got a lipstick stain.
Which I'm like, this motherfucker didn't notice,
Yeah,
like at all. Like
He's too worried about Gizmo.
All right.
Yeah, the tent in his pants.
Yeah, he had to take care of that in the cab.
So meanwhile, poor
yeah, but
Pete,
she was awful.
I mean, I've had awfuler.
I mean, no, she didn't look awful, but she just was awful. And like that's enough to like. This all right, I'm out.
She kind of redeemed herself by the end.
Did she?
I don't know.
she sucked less by the end.
I'm gonna stick by my I've had awfuler statement.
It was basically they were like, "Stop sucking," and she did, but she didn't do anything cool.
Right. She was neutral.
All right. So meanwhile, the crazy Mogwai is just going savage at Billy and Kate's apartment. He's throwing shit everywhere. He's fucking up all the Fat Chat snacks. Throwing fucking Hostess cupcakes at people.
I'm saying.
And he keeps saying, "I'm not Gizmo."
Yeah.
Like I did hear that over and over again.
Kate should have made him do some push-ups for disrespecting that many snacks.
And the fact that he could do a push-up would signify that he did not respect those snacks to begin with.
At which point, she should have killed him because Fat Chat's not a game.
It's a lifestyle.
Billy walks in and is like, "The fuck's Gizmo?"
Who's this motherfucker?
Also, what the hell is that?
Is him my motherfucking Gizmo?
Kate, meanwhile, is like, "What the fuck's on your lip?" And then the Futtermans arrive, because if you're going to carry over people from the first movie,
They died, right? In the
they
first movie.
fucking got run over with the bulldozer, I thought.
Yep.
They got better.
It didn't stick. Yeah, they were only mostly dead.
All right. So Mr. Futterman's immediately going nuts. He's got some paranoia issues since
Since he got run over by a
run over
bulldozer.
So yeah, I mean, it's justified. Meanwhile, all right. Actually, here's a Fat Chat analysis. Back at the Clamp Towers at the frozen yogurt stand where they're putting all this gross stuff on the frozen yogurt like kiwis and shit. Not that I have a problem with kiwis. I just don't want to put that in frozen yogurt. But Mohawk has a whole snack bar kind of to pop up in all those different bins of like things to put on ice cream.
Yeah.
Am I correct in that he popped up in Skittles?
I think it was M&M's.
All right, if it's M&M's, that's not a bad choice. I was kind of like, why are Skittles going on ice cream?
Yeah, it's weird.
And is that what you would have gone for? Like, I think I would have gone for the peanut butter cups.
I didn't see what else they had there.
Well, let's just say the standard topping
I like
arrangements.
Oreo pieces.
Oreo pieces?
Reese's Pieces.
Those are good. I mean,
Yeah, if there were Reese's Pieces, I'd probably do that.
as someone who's lactose intolerant and does not go out for ice cream very often, I'm a little out of touch on what the options are
Fair
for.
enough. Like, I wouldn't do shots. That's just...
Oh no, because that would be my like default. Would be
You mean
like,
Jimmy's?
Or Jimmy's.
here's
shots
the thing.
or Jimmy's.
Shots. I think the rainbow ones are the shots. I usually go for the chocolate ones, or no, chocolate shots, and then rainbow jimmies. Is how I've always known it.
I skipped those. Maybe the maraschino cherries. That would be...
So,
Ooh,
but I would do
a
like
good one.
like chocolate soft serve
Yep.
with chocolate shots
Okay.
Chocolate.
down at the
Double
dip top or the Sunday house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I like vanilla, but I put the bottom Reese's Pieces and then Reese's Pieces on top.
But sometimes I get a hankering. I gotta unwrap a whole zebra dick.
Shove that in your mouth.
Put this in my mouth. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so
Like Black Out.
the
Remember that guy?
so Billy's like, I got a plan. These guys reproduce when they get wet, so
So do I.
yeah. I'm just gonna go shut off all the water to the building.
Yeah.
No one's gonna notice that.
No,
to
why
this
now?
one trying to
Why
do
would
that.
they?
Yeah, so the security system is immediately like, there's some crackhead hitting the water valve with a wrench. Or a fire axe.
Oh yeah, he's going out with the axe.
Yeah, so they dispatch their finest security guard.
Which
Doesn't even notice Kate. Kate just fucking pulls off a hide in plain sight roll. And what were you going to say, Rob?
Oh no, go ahead.
No.
I got nothing.
So he just brandishes his pistol at Billy, calls him a terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "What's in your bag?" And he opens up the bag, and it's the crazy Mogwai just jumps out and savages this guy's face. And this man is walking around for a good 30 seconds with a really not good Mogwai puppet
So here's the thing.
on his face.
How do you think they did? You think it was just like a puppet attached to a thing that he held in his mouth?
Maybe he could have just had a headband on. I don't know.
It's possible too.
I think he had still had his hat on too, right?
Like 40% of this movie is people holding puppets on their
Yeah.
face.
Because like this Mogwai, both his arms and both his legs are flailing,
Mhm.
and it's not like he bit this guy that hard. So he is literally just hovering on this man's face, kind of just grinding on it, I guess.
Well, if you think about it, his genitals would be right about mouth level.
Maybe that's how he's sticking on. Either way, this
He's got a
man
barbed penis like a dog.
gets both. He both gets, like nose bit and nose pregnant from this Mogwai, which then just scurries off. And the guy opens fire on it, totally misses.
Which is a real missed opportunity, I think, for
End of movie.
just a straight up horrible Mogwai shot to death.
Yeah.
Do you think, do the Mogwais, is their blood green too, you think?
I'm not sure. I don't think we've ever seen a Mogwai actually get
Yeah, I don't know.
wounded.
We've never seen a Mogwai get shot in the face.
No.
Are you
They're
sure?
actually quite durable, as we find out later on. All right. So,
Yeah, I mean, essentially they're just seeds, right?
yeah. So they arrest Billy, and you see as he's getting let off that the gremlins have began their cocoons in the pipes above the water intake. And yeah, she basically just Kate bails Billy out, and you just go back to the tower. But now the gremlins have hatched, and Gizmo falls out of his air duct right by where they hatched, and is immediately snatched by one of the gremlins.
Are they bigger this movie than they were last movie?
I'm not really sure.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think they might be the same size, but their puppets are way more detailed this time around.
Okay.
So maybe they seem bigger just
Because when the one grabbed Gizmo, it his whole head fit in the palm of his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely get a lot bigger when they turn into gremlins, but I don't know.
And the scene where they were reaching in for Kate in the elevator,
Yeah.
those were human arms.
That's true.
Two big fucking arms.
Their arms are about the whole length of their body and legs, and they do have huge hands. But I think there's also just some crazy inconsistencies with their height.
They're like chimpanzees.
Yeah.
They got super long arms, short legs, big hands.
Rip your face off.
Like
Yeah.
Willow.
Oh, okay then. Doritos? Rob?
Yes, dear.
Right. So this is when Billy tries to tell Mr. Forrester about the gremlins. And the movie's like, look, man, don't take this seriously.
Yeah.
Because he's telling about we can't feed them after midnight. And all of Forrester's security guys are just like, wait, so what if it's a different time zone?
The same
the
questions
questions.
we asked
Yeah.
the first time we watched.
Oh, and they don't answer them. Yeah, they're just like, it's dumb as hell. That rule makes no sense.
It's funny because you can feel the movie get fed up with the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat you. It just jumps out and just
Gets on that guy's neck.
Like a circuitry explodes like a Star Trek computer and launches a gremlin in this guy's lap.
Who just the gremlin straight up just cold cocks this guy.
Claws the hell out of this other girl. He brandishes a flashlight at it, these shitty clamp flashlights. And the gremlin just runs off. And then we cut to, to Kate, who is taking a tour group around the TV studios, and we meet Mr. Katsugi, who really loves cameras. That's his gimmick.
Yep.
I remember when I was a kid, I thought this guy was funny.
He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that now.
He doesn't do anything.
Not really.
He was in a lot of stuff at this time, though, right?
Yeah.
I did, however, Microwave with Marge went way over my head when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
So,
You don't put sherry in everything and drink half of it too?
yeah, some people use a little. I use a lot. And like the stuff she's making, like bologna and bean dip roll-ups. What do you guys think of that?
She's making Stallone cuts.
Basically, that's a step up from a Stallone cut. Only because you have to heat it up. And what was the other one she's cooking with? Like it was like cheddar cheese, noodle.
Tuna, something, yeah, with like a lot of booze in it.
Not even cheddar cheese.
Chowder.
Like everything is like
Oh, cheese product. That's
cheese.
right.
It's like Velveeta tuna
Chowder.
chowder. Just saying it makes me like throw up a little.
Yeah. So,
And I'm eating garbage right now.
so the Gremlins, of course, are just like, this is where we will start our uprising. And Crazy just pops out of the pot. He just somehow snuck in there.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, I think the Gremlins just legit. The two powers they have is like if it is a machine, they can fuck it up, and if it's something they can fit into, they can just appear out of it.
That's fair.
I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
It
like
tracks.
legit good powers to have. This is like if it's funny, they can make the machine do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then if it's funny for them to pop out of something, they can do it. So, yeah, they just show up here, scare the hell out of everybody, throw some pots and pans in the microwave, baste Marge, and that causes the microwave explosion causes the sprinklers to go off, and they just begin reproducing like crazy.
It begins. Which again, this is really far into the movie.
Yeah, like a lot of nothing has happened, and there's not. It's funny because I wrote a lot of stuff down, but there's really not a lot of movie left. Like
Yeah.
the movie just goes at a breakneck speed from here. So now we just get a shot of Mohawk photocopying Gizmo, which why that doesn't kill him, I don't know.
Repeated
It probably hurts
flashes to
him.
the face.
It's gotta hurt,
Well.
but like, because if you were a gremlin, you're a skeleton when that happens to you. So I guess Mogwai maybe are just more resilient to it.
Maybe
Maybe.
Gizmo's special.
Yeah, he could be.
I mean, he's been around the block a few times.
Yeah.
Scuttling around.
Like
I've seen some lights, son.
that would be cool if well not cool, but like it would be something if in the next movie Gizmo turns into a gremlin and like you get to see
That would be pretty cool.
wild
Just
shit happening.
pissed off Howie Mandel. All right, so now Kate's in the elevator trying to, I forget where she's trying to go, and the gremlins are just fucking with her.
Well, like, so watching this, I was like, look, why the fuck would you get in the elevator when
Yeah,
you
that is
know
a
they're
bad
out
idea.
now? Like, you know they're
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Why
Well,
would you do
you've
that?
seen how they work. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
you could put shit on the stairs, but you can't just make stairs do something terrible. You can make an elevator do a lot of terrible
Yeah,
things.
like, why would you've been through this before. Why would you get in an elevator? Like, it don't make no sense. So sure enough, she gets in, she goes like, 40th floor, and a gremlin says back to her, 40th floor.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, damn it.
Like, she's like, sound the alarm, and the gremlin's just like, eh.
which I think honestly is like one of my favorite parts.
And she's just stuck there for now. Now,
Conveniently removed from the movie.
so now we cut to Clamp, who's just dicking around his office looking kind of bored. And he was talking to his secretary, who's got a pretty nice looking sandwich that a gremlin steals and replaces with mousetrap sandwich.
Yeah,
Dick move.
because that's how that works.
Yeah. Mousetrap sandwich that's pretty horrible.
But like, the minute you put the bread on top, it goes off. Like, it doesn't
Yeah,
work.
that's true.
Yeah.
Not how they work, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more shocked about, like, you hear off screen her go, ow! And then she just disappears. Like, she's just gone.
He ate her. I don't know.
Yeah, did he? He's wearing her clothes.
That's the thing. Like you have to look at this movie like it's a cartoon,
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
and that's really the only way it works.
I honestly, like, if she just saw that and was like, That's a wrap on my day. I got a mouse trap on my lip. That thing's there. I don't need my sweater anymore. I'm going home.
You're the secretary now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, just type it on the It's like, all right.
So, yeah, Mr. Clamp comes out to investigate, and he just gets into a death battle with the secretary gremlin, which bites the shit out of his hand, and then he's just like, I'm putting you in the shredder.
And yeah, it's like 2 solid minutes of watching this gremlin die.
Like
It is,
Nickelodeon splat going everywhere.
like-
it is quite brutal.
It's freaking Saving Private Ryan all of a sudden. There's just goo shooting out of this
It's all over the
shredder.
desk.
Oh my god, it's so brutal.
So then Billy and Forrester bust in, and they're like, yeah, we have a problem. And Clamp's basically just like, yeah, just go get control of it, Forrester. That's what I pay you for. And Forrester's like, well, then I got to take Billy with me. And then they go. And then that's it with that scene.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, on to the next one.
And then, yeah, Kate back in the elevator.
Should have died.
Yep. Well, they're just like, I think she wants to go down. And they're like, go down? Okay. And they just make the elevator just go into a free fall.
From 50 stories up.
And she survives this somehow.
Just somehow.
The gremlins break her fall.
Like, if you saw the Mythbusters with I think it was a 9-story fall where they were testing if jumping helps you. I mean, Buster didn't have blood or gore or anything, and it was still a fucking mess. They made of him. Like, I think they needed a new Buster afterwards. Like, and this was from 50 floors up or whatever. She just survives, cartoon style somehow. Because, you got to have the punchline where the person goes into, the person hits the button to open the elevator door, and they're like, wait, I'll get the next one. So then, yeah, Billy and, no. Now we get Leonard Maltin just talking shit about the Gremlins franchise.
So I mean, Leonard Maltin's a good sport though.
Yeah.
He's been in this. Not only has he been in this, he was in Mystery Science Theater,
Mhm.
and he got dumped on in that show too. So I mean,
At least in South Park, he got to turn into like a kaiju and fight Mecha Streisand.
that was Leonard Maltin.
Yeah, and then Ed Sidney Poitier, and then Robert Smith.
Robert
I
Smith.
remember
in
Robert
with the
Smith.
save.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Supposedly he's saying the same shit he said about the first Gremlins movie.
Mm.
Like he's giving his actual.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he said about
Yeah.
it for real. Oh, okay.
yeah.
And then apparently he reviewed this movie and he mentioned a gratuitous cameo, but he doesn't say it's his cameo in this scene.
Well, yeah, in Mystery Science Theater, he's on in some episode, like, he actually gave this movie a good review, and it's like a terrible movie, and he's on, like, defending himself. He's a good sport.
Mm.
I'll just say that much.
So now we go to the Splice of Life genetics lab, and they're like, it's the sequel. We need a lot of new gremlin types. Genetics lab. There's just potions that give you superpowers lying
Yeah,
around.
what? How? Why?
Because gremlins need powers now. So fucking
Because kids. They made this.
Yeah.
they put this
Chris-
towards kids.
Fun.
Christopher Lee just runs by with a people pod.
Why not?
Sure. Here's where we get some distinct kinds of gremlins. And I mean, I guess it does help add character to some of them to set up some jokes, but the jokes aren't that good. But so you get the one that gets the intelligence serum, and now it can talk and has a nice sophisticated voice. Bat Gremlin is actually pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Funny how when it escapes the Batman symbol.
Yeah.
It seemed way cooler to me when I was younger
Yeah.
than it did
Yeah.
now.
I will say what happens with it, not necessarily cool, but it looks cool.
It looks cool.
It's a neat little gargoyle.
It's
monster.
it's a neat gargoyle, but like, so are gremlins just like, do they just take on the properties of whatever?
They're like Kirby.
Sure.
Yeah, they're Kirby.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to describe it. They just take on the properties of whatever they're near or
Serum
around.
they take.
You
They-
get vegetable gremlin.
Yeah, because you need vegetable gremlin.
Yep. You get fucking electro gremlin. Just Zorps. Christopher Lee kills him.
It's just Kremzeek,
Yep.
for those of you that know what that is. Will doesn't know what that is, but that's okay. He's 5 years old.
I don't know what that is.
Ryan doesn't know what that is because he's too
Zangief.
cool.
I don't know what
Van
anything you
Geef
mentioned
from
is.
Street Fighter?
Zangief, no. Nor is it Dan Giesling from Big Brother. It's Kremzeek. It's a Transformers character.
Oh, well, of course no one knows.
Yeah, someone knows.
Tony
I
knows.
know. Tony knows.
All right.
One gremlin gets acid thrown in its face.
So it becomes Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, so actually, no, it doesn't kill Christopher Lee at this point. But yeah, anyway, that acid jar, I like how it just says acid, do not throw in face. So the gremlin's immediately like, throw in face? Sure.
Yeah.
Don't put marbles in your nose.
Yeah.
Don't put salt in your eye.
And now the gremlins, they've got powers. They're just tearing through this building. It's crazy time. You get a Wilhelm scream as somebody gets thrown off a balcony.
I thought I heard one.
Yep. Kate's trying to get somewhere. She gets interrupted by a flasher gremlin
Oh, yeah.
who
Random.
she just takes to Dick Kick City and punts him like a football.
Well, because there was a flasher gremlin in the first movie, right?
Yeah.
That flashed her.
Yep. So, yeah, she pulls the fire alarm, which I don't know why nobody has thought to do until now. And I do like the fire alarm, though. It's just like, fire, burner of villages, destroyer of forests. This building is now on fire. So, meanwhile, the Bat Gremlin is now flying through New York and just singles out.
Because it has sunblock.
Yeah, because they inject him with natural sunblock,
That's how
which
that
I'm
works.
just like, come on. This is...
And, yeah, goes up against Mr. Futterman, who just takes that shit and throws it in cement.
Yep.
And I love how it's so clear that all of the extras do not know what's happening, what the point of the scene is.
He like bumps into one guy,
Yeah.
and the guy's like, "Fuck you, old man."
Now, in fairness, in New York, if you're being attacked by a giant bat gargoyle creature and you bump into someone, they'll be like, "What the fuck's your problem?"
Yeah, like
I didn't start that fight.
that gargoyle's just trying to earn a living. But he's like shadow boxing and like bumping into people on the street.
Yeah, and everyone else is just like, "Oh, I gotta go to work. Like, I don't got time for gargoyles."
That was great.
But then when he throws it in the cement, now everyone suddenly is watching.
Well, yeah, because now it's...
There was an actual puppet there at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cement-covered Bat Gremlin takes off, just flies to the top of a cathedral, and becomes a gargoyle.
Like, is it still alive?
I wouldn't think...
Do they need to eat? Like,
Maybe he joins up with Goliath later on.
Maybe.
That cathedral gets raised into the clouds.
Yes. Hangs out with Brooklyn.
What is even happening now?
a lot of nonsense. Like,
Lot of bull crap.
How do you rate that Lego Gremlin? I mean, the colors are definitely
he was
off.
unimpressed.
I
But
mean,
it's,
yeah, it was
it's
a big...
1991. They didn't really have a lot of green Legos.
It was. It was a big Duplo thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it was fine for.
But it gets
the
smashed because the stupid one,
Yeah, well,
hits the guy with the bitch face.
You know,
And then now we get another crucial scene as the movie just goes totally off the rails, where Billy and
Literally?
Dr. Catheter are talking about something going on in the genetics lab, and the movie simply just the film stops and melts. And Gremlins just take over the projector. They're
Yeah.
doing shadow puppets. They put on a porno. And we just crash right through the fourth wall.
they legit put on.
Naked people.
It's like
It's not really a porno. It's just like a weird.
a snuff film.
Snuff film.
No, it's just like an old timey like
Naked
nudie
volleyball
film.
player.
Yeah, it's
that's
naked
right. It's not a
volleyball
porno.
players.
Yeah, it's just
with all the
Naked
nips,
girlies playing
Yeah.
volleyball.
all the nips edited out.
It's like the 1991 equivalent of Dead or Alive beach
Yeah,
volleyball.
pretty
Yes.
much.
Things have progressed a lot in like 15 years.
The breast physics are very realistic, however.
So this movie's just
Hulk Hogan
it's like just
Legit.
get Hulk Hogan.
gets up, rips his shirt off, like, put it back on. I'm coming in the Gremlins, and they go, okay. He goes, sorry, folks. Supposedly, the VHS version of it,
Yep.
instead of being this, it's John Wayne instead of Hogan, and it looks like the tracking goes off on the VHS tape. So what?
John Wayne?
Yeah. So it looks like the tracking goes like.
Was he still alive at that point?
90? I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
didn't think so.
Listen up here, you gremlin pilgrims.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, now this is when Grandpa Fred is just like, I got an idea. News broadcast.
No, he died in 79.
Must have been look-alike now.
John Wayne Gacy.
For Marilyn Manson.
What?
Oh wait, no, there's a different Marilyn Manson one that's something Gacy. Because you know how there's Marilyn Manson, and then there's like there's something Wayne Gacy, and then there's another one that has a different serial killer name too.
Yeah, it's John Wayne, and they use footage from Chisholm.
Oh.
Forced to do the Gremlins to keep the movie going. Oh, but they use the voice of an impersonator because he's been dead forever. But yeah,
It's probably Frank Welker.
So
Frank Oz.
Frank Oz. I'm the Duke.
So now, all right, he grabs the Japanese guy. He's like, "Can you work a camera?" The guy's like, "I am a camera," and they just go off and start broadcasting the antics to everyone.
The Grampire, you mean?
The Grampire, yeah. And now we're back in the genetics. I don't know what happened where we left. Now we're back, and this is when the Gremlin electrifies Christopher Lee, and we meet the woman Gremlin. I didn't know. Gremlin produced asexually. And,
it took a serum.
There's a sex change potion.
There was a serum in there.
Yeah.
Just drank vagina juice.
Yep.
That sounded terrible. Sorry.
So, yeah, Christopher Lee gets the Force lightning. Mohawk's just like,
do it.
Done torturing. Yeah, do it. Mohawk's like, I'm done torturing Gizmo. I'm taking some spider juice. I'm a spider now.
Yeah.
They're like Velcroing him, like Velcroing his fur off.
Which is, yeah, they're messing up Gizmo pretty good.
I know rule one, well, not rule one, but one of the main villain rules is never become a snake. It never helps. What about becoming a spider? Has that ever helped?
How many times has it been a thing?
No.
Like Scorpion King was kind of like a spidery Scorpion King.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen so much alarm on your face as when he mentioned the Scorpion King.
Like,
I think it is a list.
Like it's like your mortal
I don't
weakness
think
or
so.
something. You were just like, oh my God.
We never speak of that.
We're like, what have you said at my table?
All right, so.
Well, if I may say, dude transforms into a tarantula.
Yep.
To this sweet guitar riff.
Oh, God.
Which is pretty much the same guitar riff you get when Black Arachnia turns into a spider in Beast Wars. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, it is like the buttest of butt metal.
It really is.
Yeah.
Fart rock.
Now Billy goes back up to see Mr. Clamp, and the fucking Electro Gremlin just launches out of his phone. Launches out of the wall, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Billy traps it in the phone and puts it on hold.
Traps
that's
it
how
in a phone.
electricity
That's how it
works.
works.
Yeah,
you know?
And you see his little face on the screen.
Right.
And then once the hold music comes on, he starts freaking out.
Like, I get in 1990, you get movies like, well, I mean, this didn't come out in 1990, but movies like The Net that didn't understand how the internet worked, or Lawnmower Man, where they're just like,
Didn't
I
understand
don't know.
how lawnmowers work.
Yeah, lawnmowers, internet,
Bees.
But like in 1990, we know how electricity works.
Yeah.
We got and
phones.
And phones. I'd say a pretty fair grasp on the science of that. So,
Yes.
but it's cartoon rules. It's straight up cartoon
That's
rules.
exactly it.
See, but this movie reeks of they figured out the end and worked backwards. And they were like, well, how are we going to get the electric gremlin there? We'll trap him in a phone.
Sure.
And they were just like, done, fine. We don't need to think about that anymore. No one was like, hey, guys, that's stupid.
Like not like a battery or something.
Nope.
Or
Kind
like,
of containment field.
yeah, anything.
Even if you caught him in a circuit and like put those little like Beatty plugs in the outlets so he couldn't go anywhere.
I mean, you've got the whole building is a MacGuffin, basically.
Yeah.
You couldn't just make something up.
Mm-hmm.
You got that whole lab.
Yeah. Like Wing's ghost couldn't just come out at the end.
Also, why did we have an electric gremlin to begin with? But,
Same.
That's
Same.
fair. That's very fair.
all right. So either way, so Billy's like, check it out. We'll turn the clocks ahead. You go out get like a covering over the door. They'll assemble in the lobby. We'll drop the cover. Somehow that'll kill every single gremlin in the building.
Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what Clamp was about to say that, and Billy's just like, shh.
Clamp your mouth shut.
It'll work. Yeah. So Clamp's like, ooh, I get to try my escape tunnel. And he's got his weird, like, plant pod.
It's a Get Smart
thing.
tunnel.
Yeah. And he just pops out into New
Or
York.
Harry Potter, if you will.
And Murray Futterman's like, now's my time. It's Futterman time. I'm going in there.
I mean, like, for evil layers, like this Clamp guy, he could have done better.
Yeah, his office was kind of shitty.
Yeah, he could have done better. Like, the escape hatch is nice. I'll give you that. But, like, he could have done a little better for evil layer.
Well, so now what Billy gets incapacitated by the crazy one who wants to play dentist with him. Fucking Mr. Futterman just comes in with the save. The scene's pointless.
Well, it's a Little Shop of Horrors reference.
I guess, yeah.
So
Fair enough.
Have we had the Gizmo training montage yet?
Yeah, it's going on throughout this point. Where Gizmo is doing things to try to get stronger. And then this is also when Marla gets trapped in Spider Mohawk's web. And what else is going on? A lot of stuff is happening at once here. It's the woman gremlin has chased Forrester off, trying to make out with him and hump his leg.
Large chunks of this movie are gremlins doing things with no words, no sound, no dialogue at all. So, like,
and no context either.
It's things just happening.
It's whatever. Here's a non sequitur.
Yeah.
And Grandpa Dracula over here is interviewing the smart gremlin who's saying he wants civilization and then just murders one of the other gremlins in cold blood. He's like, that was not civilized, but civilization is what we want. And Grandpa Dracula's just like, I'm done here. All right, so now, I don't know, Spider Mohawks attack. Oh, okay, this is when Kate finds Marla trapped in the web. She's like, yo, you touched my boyfriend? She's like, I wanted to. It didn't work. She's like, fine. I'll cut you off this web. And then Spider...
With my Swiss Army knife. Scissors.
Even though I can clearly touch the web and not stick.
And then she just drops.
Yeah. And then this fucking spider just comes around the corner. And they're like, what the hell are we going to do? Gizmo's like, I got this. I made my pencil and whiteout arrow. My Rambo arrow.
His badass Rambo montage.
Yeah.
He had trained. He made his bow and arrow and shit. Like, he's ready to go.
And like a Rambo arrow, it blows up the one thing you shoot it at, no matter what it is. In this case, it's the spider mohawk. And just fucking burns him to death. And then, Billy and Futterman show up. The party's formed now. We got Rambo, Gizmo. We got
the Fellowship
of the
Gremlins.
Got Crazy Futterman, then Marla, and I do like this part though, with the throwback to the first movie where Kate starts talking about like how she's traumatized by Lincoln's birthday.
He's just like, we don't have time for this.
Yeah, he just pushes her off the scene onto something else. Because we got to spend that time on a musical number.
Yeah, but to be fair, that whole scene with her, I don't know, to me it seemed a little bit like too forced.
I don't know, this movie is...
Well, this whole movie is
it's
forced,
ridiculous.
but
It's there's no reasoning with it.
That's fair. Very fair.
So, I also like during this New York musical number, Vampire Fred and the cameraman are broadcasting from inside trash cans placed on the counter of like a restaurant or something. Somehow that works. And we just get 5 minutes spent on a musical number, including like, is the lady gremlin hot? Like, okay.
Listen.
She thinks she is. So
it is 2019. Somebody out there thinks that Lady Gremlin is hot.
Yeah, this movie's almost 30 years old.
Forrester does by the end of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, he's okay.
We'll get to that in a second.
He's like, dude's night out.
He's like, mouse to mouth, I guess.
I was going to use that joke.
Oh, sorry.
In my notes.
My bad.
It's the last line I wrote. Anyway, so
It is the last line here. No.
All right, so the they're like, all right, let's do this plan. The gremlins are all in the lobby. We're going to drop this banner we put up of like nighttime in Moscow.
Yeah, it looks like they probably just grabbed it from a
Yeah.
play somewhere.
I mean, the gremlins don't know, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
They're not cultured.
Yeah.
No,
So they
they didn't take the cultured gene formula.
Cartoon rules.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're about to drop the thing when clouds roll over and blot out the sun.
It's gonna rain.
Yeah. Then we cut to such important things as a gremlin getting a Warner Brothers tattoo.
Yeah.
As
Yep.
Will's mentioned, Phantom of the Opera gremlin.
Yep.
And Billy's like, I got it. I got the plan. Let's just hose them all down so they get wet and they're going to reproduce more. And then we're going to just call up Electro Gremlin.
I mean, that's what my high school did too.
Mm-hmm.
Close you down. Getting too rowdy.
Let's just hose them down until they reproduce to death.
And it works. That's just it. Like, Electro Gremlin comes out and just electrocutes all of them.
Yep.
And
I'm
Three-
surprised they didn't have like a
What's that?
wet t-shirt gremlin.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're starring in a new show, 3 hours old and pregnant.
MTV.
so we get some legitimately gross shots of gremlin skeletons.
Yeah, they're just melting.
I like the one that's smoking a cigarette and his mouth just oozes into the floor. It's pretty cool, like practical effects here.
Yeah, it's nicely done. It's just weird. It's gross and weird.
All right, so Clamp's like backup plan. I'm leading a SWAT team charge in here. I guess you could do that.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
You got no money,
So-
I suppose.
So fake Trump, I guess he's got more courage than real Trump because he's at the front of the SWAT team going in there.
Let's just call him Clump.
Clump. Yeah, that's a good one.
No
Clump.
bone spurs.
As a matter of fact, let's call her President Clump.
President Clump.
So, there's a line in the movie that was taken out. At one point, the building says, wouldn't Clamp make a great president? And it's like, they cut it out because the production company was like, take it out. But how funny would that have been if it wasn't in the movie? And then like,
Gremlins 3 is Clamp is the president.
well, because he legit is
Yeah.
take on Trump.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
saying
oh,
much not, like he legit is like making fun of Trump.
So, yeah, Clamp's like, check it out. Everyone gets a happy ending. He's like, Dracula, man, you're my lead anchor now.
Forrester definitely gets one.
Yeah.
Watch the teeth.
It's like, Marla, you're the head of public relations.
Right under me.
Right under me. Marla's like, that's everything I ever wanted.
Cratchit, you're my new partner.
Yeah. Okay, he sees a picture of Kingston Falls, their hometown. He's like, I want to build that. Billy, start selling it to me. Billy's like, there's nothing here that I own, but I will sell things to you.
Sure.
Kate's basically giving him the look like, shut up, just take his money.
Yep.
And then he sees Gizmo and he's like, we're going to merchandise that.
After we vivisect it.
Yeah, well, of course. And then, yeah, we just cut to Forrester. He's just up in a bathroom somewhere.
Like you do.
And
He
Clamp's
has been molested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He already has been molested. And Clamp's like, all right, we'll come get you, but all the automatic doors are engaged. Like, you're going to be up there for a while. We're going to have to cut our way to you. And then you see the lady gremlin comes in her wedding dress and everything. And there's other gremlins doing the da. I don't know. And Forrester just resigns himself. And he is, like you said, he's like, a mouth's a mouth.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Even with big, nasty, pointy teeth.
Yeah. And the movie ends on that note. Some man gremlin love.
Yep.
Yep.
And Daffy Duck scattered throughout the credits.
And then Porky Pig at the end.
Yeah.
Daffy Duck taking over and getting whacked by the Warner Brothers logo for no reason.
And that's Gremlins 2. All right, guys. That was Gremlins 2, the new batch. Do we have Rotten Tomatoes scores on this?
So the critics gave Rotten Tomatoes gives this a 69%, and the audience gives it a 56%.
56%. Wow. All right, Brian, how do you feel about that?
So I'm more with the 56%,
Mm-hmm.
like only because like the nostalgia has kind of worn off for me because of how ridiculous it is. It's not trash, but it's not passing for me. Maybe I'll give it a 60. Maybe I'll give it a solid D-, maybe, you know. I would only watch this in a group of friends so I can make fun of how crazy it is. Other than that, I wouldn't watch this.
Okay. How about you, Will?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Brian. And it's more along the lines of almost failing, but like a low D. And like several movies that I've been on the show for where it's the sequel of something like Men in Black 3 or Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. I really want to go watch the original. Like, this was fun to watch with you guys and make fun of, and for the purpose of the podcast to like have a good time making fun of it. But I don't think I'll ever really want to watch it again, but I would want to go back and check out Gremlins sometime soon.
Joe?
If the letters WTF became a movie, you would get this movie.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. It is a movie.
Oh, wow. Fuck you.
Oh, sorry.
All right. But, no, I agree with these other two. It's, it's in the 60s. Like, it is a pass. I did actually kind of enjoy watching it, but it's really bizarre. And there's huge chunks of it where you're just like, what are we doing here? The only time I would really watch it again is if somebody had never seen it before and I'd like to experience them experiencing the movie. That's probably the only way that I would find it rewarding to watch. But it's one of those ones I think everyone should see once because it's a crazy spectacle and it's worth watching. It doesn't take that long. It's harmless. But it's not a good movie. So I'm still going to recommend it once.
All right. I think my opinion pretty much mirrors all of yours. It really is just like it's so close to going either way, a recommend or a not recommend. It could easily fall on either side of that fence. And I guess I'm going to go with a light recommend just because it is so much of a what the hell am I watching situation. It really, it defied all of my memories. Like, I remembered how the movie was, parts of it, but as a whole unit, like it's so beyond insane and bizarre and everything I remembered. It really is crazy to watch. Like, I felt like every scene that passed, I felt like my IQ was dropping like 3 points.
Good, pretty much.
Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, well, I guess this is it. All right, let's do it. So yeah, it'll be a light recommend from all of us, I guess. So watch it once with friends, preferably.
Preferably who haven't seen it.
Preferably who haven't seen it, and just prepare yourself because it's not what you think it'll be. All right, so that is Gremlins 2. What do we got next, Brian?
Time for the D20 Fate. D20 Fate time.
D20 Fate.
Ready to check to see what we're gonna watch next.
D20 Fate.
Is it my roll?
It's your roll.
My roll? Oh shit. Let's do this up.
That shit is
14. Let's see what this is.
14. Oh god. 14 is 1991's Point Break.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
no.
Okay. All right.
Really?
You're one radical son of a bitch.
Johnny Utah.
Johnny Utah. Oh.
I've never seen this all the way through.
Sweet.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I had the strength when
No.
it came out. And I never attempted again.
All right, guys. So next time you see us, we'll be skydiving and surfing and
Hanging out with the dead presidents.
dead president, FBIing, and Keanu Reevesin and Patrick Swayze. Bodhisattva, man. Bodhisattva. This movie. All right. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. I want to thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe. You can find us at 4ampodcast.podbean.com. That's our website. You can get all of our archived episodes. You can find out how to sponsor your own episode. You can find out how to buy some of our merchandise, all that good stuff. If you want to email us, you can email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter or Facebook at 4ampodcast. And that's pretty much all the pertinent information, yeah?
Yeah.
So thanks again for listening, guys. We really do appreciate all the support. Tune in next time for Point Break.
Deuces.
Bye.
Adios.
Later, guys.